Hello, my dear listeners. 65 million years ago, the world was ruled by giants. Now, I will take you back to that age, into the dark forests and endless plains of the Cretaceous. Through the eyes of a dinosaur, you will witness the grandeur of life and the inevitability of death. 13 meters long, 9 tons heavy, with an 18,000 Newton bite force, you are the king of the world. You are history's most powerful predator at the top of the food chain. No creature can stand against you. Today we're traveling back 65 million years with you. Back then, the world was completely different, and you were the absolute ruler of this planet. This is the story of the king of dinosaurs. You were born on one of the hottest days of the Cretaceous period. Your mother was a 15-meter giant T-Rex, your father the most feared hunter in the region. You came into the world as the heir to the royal family. Even when you took your first breath, you were already 60 centimeters long, twice the size of other dinosaur hatchlings. Your genetic superiority was evident from the moment you were born. By the way, you can determine the topic of the next video by commenting one of the animals that will appear at the end of the video. Your parents brought you 200 kilograms of meat daily to feed you. Because you weren't an ordinary hatchling, you were the future king, and you were growing at this feeding rate. For the first month, you just grew. You gained 2 kilograms per day. This growth rate was proof of what a special creature you were. When you were 6 months old, you were already 3 meters long and weighed 200 kilograms. You were the size of most adult dinosaurs, but you were just getting started. You caught your first prey at 8 months old, a Parasaurolophus, a giant 5-ton herbivore. Normally, a T-Rex of your age couldn't hunt such a target. But you weren't normal. Your hunting technique was perfect. First, you approached silently, then attacked with that incredible speed. You could run at 45 kilometers per hour. No dinosaur could escape at this speed. Your 60 razor-sharp teeth in your jaw instantly broke your prey's spine. These teeth were 20 centimeters long and cut through bones like butter. After this success, other young T-Rexes accepted you as their leader. You weren't even 1 year old yet, but you were already at the head of the pack. At 2 years old, you were now 6 meters long and weighed 1 ton. But your real development was in your hunting intelligence. You weren't just strong, you were also very smart. Your brain was 3 times larger than other dinosaurs. This made you not just a brute force user, but a hunter who developed strategies. Your first big battle was with a rival T-Rex family. They had entered your territory. This was unacceptable, because these lands were your kingdom. The battle lasted for hours. The opposing T-Rex was 8 years old, much more experienced than you, but you were young, fast, and most importantly, hungrier. Finally, you defeated your rival. With your 18,000 Newton bite force, you broke his neck. This force was enough to crush a modern car. You were 2 years old and had already become a legend. At 5 years old, you reached full size, 13 meters long, 9 tons heavy. You were the largest predator walking on Earth. Your steps shook the ground. Your roar could be heard for kilometers. You had no rivals now. Your jaw alone was enough to cut a car in half. Your claws were 30 centimeters long and hard as steel. During this period, your territory was 100 square kilometers. This was a massive kingdom where thousands of dinosaurs lived. And you were the sole king of all of them. You ate 300 kilograms of meat daily. This meant approximately 3 large dinosaurs. The dinosaurs you hunted included Triceratops, Ankylosaurus, and Edmontosaurus. Your most challenging prey were the Triceratops. They had 3 horns and bone armor, but you knew their weak points. You attacked from their sides, avoiding their horns. Every dinosaur in this world knew you. You were at the top of the pyramid, with a rigid hierarchy below you. On the second level were other large predators, Allosaurus, Carnotaurus, Spinosaurus. But none were at your level. Even they fled when they saw you. On the third level were medium-sized dinosaurs, Velociraptor packs, Dilophosaurus. These were masters of small prey but didn't dare approach you. At the bottom were herbivores, Brontosaurus, Brachiosaurus, Parasaurolophus. They were your food. Even if some weighed 30 tons, they were powerless against you. This hierarchy had been like this for 20 million years. The T-Rex family's hegemony was unquestionable. You were the strongest representative of this tradition. Your kingdom wasn't based on strength alone. It was also based on intelligence and organization. T-Rexes were actually very social animals. You lived with your family, your mate, your offspring, and your siblings. You hunted together, protected territory together. This was an empire. Your hunting strategies were complex. While one chased prey into an ambush, others surrounded it. The coordination was perfect. No prey could escape. During mating season, there was fierce competition among male T-Rexes. You always won, because you were the strongest, largest, and smartest one. You taught your offspring how to hunt. You explained dinosaur hierarchy to them, how to fight which dinosaur. You provided royal family training. Your hunting ability was legendary. You weren't just powerful, but also a perfect strategist. Your eyes were like eagle eyes. You could notice movement from 6 kilometers away. Your color vision was much more developed than other dinosaurs. Your sense of smell was incredible. You could smell blood from 10 kilometers away. This made you a perfect hunter. Your biggest prey was an Argentinosaurus, 35 meters long, 100 tons heavy, a giant herbivore. Normally, these dinosaurs were too big to hunt, but you developed a strategy with your family. You tracked it for 3 days, waited for its weak moment. Finally, you injured its leg and it fell after 2 hours. This hunt was talked about throughout the dinosaur world. The T-Rex who killed a 100-ton giant. You weren't just a hunter, you were a legend. At 20 years old, you were at the peak of your power. You had no rivals, no threats. Your kingdom was the greatest power of 65 million years ago. Your jaw now reached 20,000 newtons of force. This was more powerful than today's strongest hydraulic presses. No creature could withstand this force. Your territory was now 500 square kilometers. This was the size of a modern country, and you were the sole ruler in this massive area. Your family had 12 T-Rexes. All under your leadership, you formed a perfect team. Coordinated hunts, regular patrols, systematic territory control. By the way, don't forget to follow our one and only real Instagram account. You can reach the link from the channel description. Other dinosaur species moved kilometers away when they saw you. Your presence meant death to them. At 25 years old, you were the absolute ruler of the dinosaur world. Everyone in your kingdom knew their place. Small dinosaurs paid tribute to you. They left you part of the food they hunted. In return, you protected them, kept them away from big threats. Other predators hunted with your permission. They asked you which area to hunt when. You were an emperor, they were your vassals. You even shaped geography. The paths you took became trails. Dinosaurs used your routes. You were a living navigation system. Even meteorology didn't affect you. Storms, floods, volcanic eruptions, none could shake your kingdom. You were the master of nature. You were the greatest power in this world. For 65 million years, no creature had reached your level, and none ever would. At 30 years old, you were the longest reigning dinosaur king in history. You had been the absolute ruler of this planet for 25 years. You began to see your children's children. The T-Rex dynasty was flourishing under your leadership. Each new generation was stronger, smarter. You felt invincible, because you truly were. No force could stop you. Whether alone or with your family, you were victorious in every situation. The number of dinosaurs you hunted reached thousands. The territory you protected extended for kilometers. The number of offspring you raised reached dozens. Other dinosaurs saw you as a god, because you were the greatest power they could comprehend. To them, you were nature incarnate. You thought yourself immortal, and you were right, because your power, intelligence, and hegemony were limitless in that era. But that day, you were hunting as usual. The sun was bright, the weather was warm. It was a normal Cretaceous day. You and your family were tracking a large sauropod herd. Suddenly, a light appeared in the sky. At first, you thought it was just a new star, but the light began to grow. And then, everything changed. The 10-kilometer-wide asteroid struck Mexico. The explosion's force was 100 million times all nuclear bombs. Earth instantly turned into hell. You, with all your strength, all your intelligence, all your hegemony, were helpless. because this power was greater than yours. This was the power of the universe. The sky darkened, the earth trembled. Kilometer-high ocean waves were coming. And you, the king who had been invincible for 30 years, were now just a creature seeking salvation. At that moment you realized that no matter how powerful you are, everyone is equal before the universe. The greatest king and the smallest creature both experience the same helplessness before the same fate. As you drew your last breath, the legacy you left behind wasn't just power, it was humility. Because true greatness isn't knowing your strength, but accepting your limits. Life is short, power is temporary. What truly lasts is the mark you leave and the compassion you show.